Alrighty then, here we go. School year 13-14. Most of you have already survived my Algebra 2 class. You're going to find this class is a lot easier to survive, but we got a survival guide nonetheless. So let's go ahead and talk about some tips here to help you get through this thing. And get the slide to change, that would be awesome. There we go. Okay. So you will receive a real, actual book that you can, swat flies with or something like that. It is not online. So let me know if you have not received your book. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to get there. I can post some PDF versions of the book if need be. So just let me know. But please don't call me in the fourth quarter and ask me how to access your online book or tell me you never received your book from UPS. These sort of things do happen, so we just want to avoid that this year if at all possible. This is basically what your book will look like. So hopefully some of you have got that already. And it is in fact called Financial Algebra, so that makes it easy since that's the name of the class as well. Okay, so for the newbies, this is probably going to be boring for some of you people that have already survived one of my classes. Best way to get a hold of me is through email, because basically that gives me a to-do list, and it stares me in the face all day, and if I see your email on there, it's like, oh yeah, I got to take care of something for you. Next up. So if you're a phone type of person, certainly give me a call here. My extension is 1038. And if I don't pick up, I always try to if I really, really can. But if I don't pick up, leave me a message, please, because otherwise I don't know that you called. When you leave a message, please leave your first and last name. You'd be amazed how many Justins we have. So if you say, hey, this is Justin, I'm like, oh, okay, that narrows it down to about 6 or 7 dudes. And we've also discovered 9 different spellings of Brittany. So obviously we have a lot of people with the same names around here. So once again, first and last name, and if you would be so kind, please, when you say your name slowly. Maybe not that slowly, but please say it slowly. We're all used to saying our own name, so we kind of go, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? You'd be amazed how many times that's the only thing I can't understand on the message. Okay, so if you do give me a holler, I don't pick up, you want to leave me a message, please go ahead and leave me the phone number that is best to reach you at this current time, including the area code, please. I think we might be up to, it's up to 10 area codes now here in Ohio. So just don't assume that we know which area code it is. Appreciate that. If you could let me know what the best time to call is, that would also be awesome. And be very specific with your question. You can jibber jabber on for a while on the voicemail. We got plenty of space on there, so go ahead and do that. Be very specific about what you're looking for. That way maybe I can have everything ready to roll by the time that I give you a holler. Alright, so here's another good idea for you. If you call and leave me a message, send me an email that you called, because once again, you're on my to-do list. It's staring me in the face. Occasionally, when people call, I listen to the message, oh yeah, I got to take care of that. A bunch of other stuff happens, and it falls through the cracks. Don't want that to ever happen. So it's a good idea. If you don't hear from me, fairly quickly, send me an email and say, hey, dude, I gave you a holler because you get back to me. I would appreciate that. Once again, if you do email me, very specific titles in the email title, I guess I should say. Titles in the email title. How about that? Okay. Help me out a lot. For an example here, it says page 127, question 5. All right. While I appreciate hey and hi and things like that, and of course my personal favorite, important, it helps me out a lot more if I have a specific idea of what you're looking for. And by the way, all your emails are important. So let's just keep that in mind. And you can even email me to give you a call. I have no problem with that either. Once again, get you on the to-do list, gets the job done. Moving on. Alright, so here's a phrase you don't ever have to use. Sorry to bother you. Nope. That's why we're here. You were never bothering me. And this is a true story. I think it's been about 4 years now. I had a young lady here who was taking Algebra 2, actually. She emailed me questions on an average of 5 times a day. I'm not kidding, 5 times a day. And that includes Saturdays and Sundays. So roughly 35 emails a week is what we're looking at. Okay? The final result of all that fun and games was she got an A in the class and she graduated from Ohdela. You can do this too. So the moral of the story is the squeaky wheel does in fact get the grease. And this little cartoon here, I'll let you guys figure out what that is and what that's all about, and what that little phrase there about squeaking is. Alright, so this particular class, we get together and hang out on Monday and Wednesdays at high noon. So feel free to bring some lunch. And there's nothing wrong with Little Feast on Our Time, which is a line from a movie. There's a picture from the movie. I'll let you guys figure it out. Give you a little hint. Look up Ancient Cinema / Sean Penn, and I think you'll figure out what we're talking about here. Alright, so as far as attending class, we're doing the Adobe Connect thing this year. People that attend class tend to get better grades. I understand sometimes we have conflicts. You have a job, you got a doctor's appointment, sometimes you have classes at the same time. I get it. It's not a problem. We record all the classes so you have access to them around the clock. And once again, if you can check out the recording, if you don't get to class, it will help you out in doing better in the class. That being said, the class attendance doesn't have a direct effect on your grade. Years past, sometimes it would actually lower your grade a little bit if you weren't attending class. I don't really think that's fair, because a lot of the reason people come to Ohdela is for the flexibility of not having to sit in a certain spot from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon or whatever. Okay? So attending class will help you get your hours logged. We will mark you as present. It will log an hour for you guys automatically. The rest of them, of course, is up to you, so keep that in mind. So if you miss a class and you go ahead and watch it, just pop me an email. You don't have to give me a fancy summary or anything else. And just say, hey, I watched the class from September 3rd. I will pop into the grade book. I will give you credit. I will turn the absent into a present. And you will get some credit on your time card, so to speak. Alright, so class schedule. We have a basic class schedule that we're going through here. We're going to have 10 modules this year. It has a little bit of an ebb and flow to it. Sometimes, we spend a little more time on something than expected. Sometimes things go a little quicker, but it pretty much averages out. So basically what I'm saying is that if we're a couple days behind schedule, a couple days ahead of schedule, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Some of the best stuff we get out of this class, particularly since this is a little more of a practical class, is when somebody just has a question and it just kind of comes out of left field. Sometimes we get the best discussions out of somebody asking a question that I hadn't thought of, but they came up with, and it's like, okay, well, that works. And then we go off into a little different direction, but it's something new and different, and everybody enjoys it, and we all learn something. I know we're trying not to, but occasionally we do learn something if we're not careful. Alrighty, so the text chat. Those of you that have been here before know that I like to leave the text chat open. I don't mind a little off-topic chit-chat. As a matter of fact, most of the time I join in. But, as long as we get to the job, we're okay. All right? And as long as things don't get too out of hand, nothing, real inappropriate or anything like that, or just I can't get you guys back on task. I have shut the text chat off, but I'll tell you what, over the years, I can count the number of times I've actually done that on one hand, and I've got fingers to spare. So it's a very, very rare event. So once again, we'd like to hear from you guys. Class participation is something that really helps things move along. Makes it a little more interesting for everybody else, makes the class go faster. The nice part for financial algebra this year is, like I said, a big handful of you guys, we're all together in Algebra 2, so you kind of know each other already, which makes things a little more, the ice is already broken, let's put it that way. So like I say, hop right in there. If you have a question, please ask the question. Don't be shy about it, because let's face it, if you're wondering, somebody else is wondering too. Okay, so formative assessments, we'll probably have some vocab quizzes, we'll have some short projects, little things here and there. We'll have some discussions, maybe a little like checkpoint quiz type of thing. So we'll have all this stuff, and I'll just throw that stuff in there from time to time. And it just gives me a chance to kind of see where you guys are at, make sure that you're kind of getting what we're throwing out here. Make sure you're catching what we're pitching, that kind of thing. And I used this slide with the butterflies because my wife suggested it. She said it was pretty. So thought I'd just add that for you. All right, the summatives are where we're going to get the majority of our grade. And for those of you that have done the standards-based grading thing before, you pretty much know how this all goes down. Level 2 stuff is like vocabulary and some like basic math stuff that you'll need to do a little more complex problems. And I'll be honest, there aren't a lot of complex problems in this class. Mathematically, it's pretty straightforward. I think, like I said, it'll be a welcome relief to those of you that survived Algebra 2. Level 3 is the stuff the state of Ohio says you need to know. So that gets you your rock star status and gets you an A, that kind of thing. Level 4 is above and beyond stuff. So this is going to exceed the standards, and it takes you from the rock star level to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But of course, it's still an A. So either way, you're good. Speaking of the grading scale, 3 to 4 is an A. So once again, that's the standards or above. 2.5 means you're better than basic, but you haven't quite got all the standards. And that is the B range, which is still not a terrible grade. And then the C range means you got the basic stuff down. We'd like to get you up a little bit higher than that. 1.5 and 1.99 means we're having a little bit of trouble. We need to back up and look at some things again. And below 1.5, we don't even want to talk about. All right, but we definitely have ways to fix that. Now, the thing about it is, particularly in this class, I give out pretty much A's, B's, and F's, mostly A's. So if you're in there swinging, you're paying attention, you're probably going to hit the standards and you're going to get an A. All right. If you fall a little bit short, you're still going to get a B, which most people aren't going to cry about. Very few C's and D's, actually. And then I have to pass out the F's for the people that just don't do anything. So if you're in there swinging, chances are pretty good you're going to get an A or a B. Okay, so what can we do if your grade isn't where you want it? All right, we can retake part of the summative test. If you're not getting something, say, hey, what's going on with this kind of problem? And say, okay, well, think about this. You need to do this. You need to do that. Yada yada, blah blah blah. You know, check it out. Make sure you get it right, and then you can resubmit portions of the summative assessments to show me basically that you got it down. And that's all we're going for here. You know, if you can convince me, it's like, hey, you know what? I know what's going on around here. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good with that. Here's your A, and we'll see you at graduation. All right, so at this point, you guys are probably wondering, it's like, how long is this guy going to jibber-jabber? Well, I'm done. I, for one, have had enough. All right, so here's a quick intro for you guys, and we will see you in class.